Alright, first and foremost, I want to give call Allah Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. That's all praises to the Most High God. In the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. It's your brother, tells upon you by Yahweh, to coming back at you through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah with a quick edifying video. As you can see on your screen, I went to Google and I typed in how many days are in a year. According to modern day society, it tells us that it's 365 days within a year. The Bible tells us to prove all things. The Bible is our litmus test for everything. So I want to go into this modern society of viewpoint and see if it matches up with the Bible, right? So modern day society tells us that it's 365 days in a year. So we're going to go into ancient documents, mainly the Aztec, the Aztec calendar, the Mayan calendar, and the Hebraic calendar, to see if it matches up with this modern day society viewpoint of 365 days within a year. So let me just start off with Jeremiah 16:6. Thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths, which is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. So the Bible is telling us to seek the old ways, right? The ancient paths, which is the good way. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into this Mayan calendar information, which you can find this on 360dayyear.com, right? Which also not only goes into the Mayan, Aztec, and Hebraic calendar, but it also goes into the ancient Sumerian calendar, the Indian calendar, the Greek, the Roman, any ancient calendar you can find the data about it on this website. I will put the link to it down below in the description box or either in the comment section. But so let's go ahead, let's get it. The Mayan Baktan equals 144,000 days of exactly 360 day years. Their ton was a year of 360 days. 20 ton equaled a katan. 20 katan equaled a baktan. The earliest excavated Mayan settlements date back to 1800 BC, and NASA reports that back in 650 BC, Mayan astronomers made a detailed observation of Venus, which just means they were watching the stars. Okay, the Mayans were sea navigators, right? That's how they were able to navigate through the sea to find places like America, right? Which is why their sign, their tribal sign, is a ship. Okay, which we know that your modern day Mayans are the Zebulonites, the Central Americans, these people right here, right? So let's go back to it. Okay, leading to a highly accurate calendar, right? Mayans had a varying interrelated calendars, but to identify an actual date in history, they used a long count calendar of 360 day years. The Maya demonstrated tremendous mathematical skill with their base 20 number system, and a representation of their number system in Arabic numerals show that 1 equal 1, 10 equal 20, 100 equal 400, and 1000 equal 8000. However, in a telling departure, transliterating so to speak, the Mayan long count calendar into Arabic numbers results in 1 equal 1, 10 equal 20, 100 equal 360, 1000 equals 7200 rather than 8000, and 1 million equals 144,000 rather than 160,000. Okay, this modification of the number system is a stunning fact of ancient history, reminiscent of the Sumerian number system anomaly from far across the ocean. Most world views simply cannot account for such extraordinary history, because many deem an historical actual 360 day year as a physical impossibility. Dramatic worldwide evidence to that effect gets ignored or discounted, right? So let's move further down. So as we can see, the Mayans agree that it's a 360 day year. So that was the Egyptians. Okay, let's get to the Aztecs, right? The Aztec calendar stone, 12 feet in diameter. The Aztec calendar stone has its ring B of 18 quin quin quincun quinuxes. Salakia. If this is a Spanish word, I am very horrible in Spanish. So, my Northern Kingdom brothers, I love y'all. Please do not crucify me for this. But, anyway, which combines with the 20 UNO day signs of 360-day year. Also, according to popular author Geoff Stray, the Mayan and other ancient calendars, page 28, Mesoamerican cultures would give a name to every day of the year, and they would name the year itself. Curiously, some groups, including the Aztecs, used a terminal year barrier system in which the year is named after the 360th day. All right, I'm going to read that again. Some groups, including the Aztecs, used a terminal year barrier system in which the year is named after the 360th day. That's not a coincidence. All right, the Encyclopedia of Time, page 49, says of the Aztecs, they carried on and further developed calendrical traditions that had their roots some 2,000 years before their own time. And like other Mesoamericans, the Aztecs had differing and complex calendar systems, yet one of them the solar year, which is accurate because we use the sun measures the year and you calculate the days by the moon. Okay, which is why the word month comes from moon. All right. Consisted of 18 months of 20 days with a remainder of 5 days. Even though their calendar was not based on a lunar cycle significantly, they continue nonetheless to pay homage to a 360-day year. Because we do know when the Aztecs came over to America, they came over here to keep the law, statutes, and commandments pursuant to 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter, starting at verse 45, but they started to go off. Right, they started to lose a lot of their ancient ways and started to follow into all type of idolatry, worshiping the sun, human sacrifice, and all types of madness. But it says even though they were following, they had multiple calendars, they still had respect and showed respect into the 360-day year, which was originally what they followed, because we're going to go into the Hebraic calendar, which is also going to line up and show that it's a 360-day year according to the Bible. And we know that the Mayans and the Aztecs and the Incas, just like the Boricuas, and or Taino or Arawaks, they're all Israelites, right? So without further ado, let's just get down here. And matter of fact, I want to go into another scripture before I go into this, about the Aztecs, right? Your so-called Mexicans of today, because we're going to see their blessing in the Bible that the Most High measured them with, right? That He gave them. 1 Corinthians 12:32, and the children of Issachar, which were men who had understanding of the times. They had understanding of the times, man. So this is why, historians that goes into ancient civilizations, when it comes down to the Mayan calendar, they say they have accurate calendars. They say they have great mathematical skills and knowledge, right? And this is why, the Most High blessed them with this gift to be able to understand the signs of the times. Right? So 1 Chronicles 12:32, and the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do. The heads of them were 200, and all their brethren were at their commandment. Right? So, when it comes down to these ancient civilizations like the Mayans and the Aztecs, when it comes down to their calendars, they're pretty much on point. Historians and scholars agree with these things. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the Hebraic calendar. Then I'm going to go ahead and close out. Right. John wrote the book of Revelation in about 95 AD. I probably don't too much agree with some of these dates that they give as far as, anything that has to do with when somebody wrote something in the Bible, or historic dating. But the information about the calendar though is what we're here for. So, a century and a half after the Julian calendar reform of 45 BC, which adopted a 365-day calendar with modern leap years, however, in verses 11 and 2 through 3, 12 and 6, 12 and 14, and 13 and 5, John explicitly indicates a year of 360 days. By a 365-day calendar, 3.5 years would equal um, 1,278 days. However, John wrote 1,260 days, or 3.5, which is 360 in Revelations 11 and 3 and 12 and 6, which equals exactly 3.5 360-day years that he mentions in Revelations 12 and 14. That number also exactly equals to 42 months of Revelations 11 and 2 and 13 and 5. These year and month equivalences, these year and month equivalents are exactly equal and only equal 1,260 days when calculating with months of 30 days each. Additionally, the prophet Daniel proclaimed, "Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his, and he changes the times and seasons." Daniel, the 2nd chapter, the 20th verse through 21. Of course, this would be a reference to the seasons as in Genesis 8 and 22. The first Hebrew word Daniel used for that statement is typically translated moment, time, or times, and second word here rendered seasons is also translated times, or appointed period, epochs, or time. Thus, Daniel may have been suggesting to his ancient audience that God's power was evident even in the world's changing calendars. As an end times prophet, Daniel's book refers to the latter days. Thus, in the Lord's prophetic countdown of the book of Revelation toward the new creation, though written in the age of the modern calendar, God used his own originally perfect length of the year. The book of Esther implies a 360 calendar in that King Ahasuerus reigned over 127 provinces. Esther 1 and 1. Notice this is not rounded. The king made a feast lasting 7 days, i.e. 1 week. Esther 1 and 5. And after a feast of 180 years, of 180 days, i.e. half a year. Esther 1 and 4, suggesting that those 180 days were exactly 6 months. Other passages consistent with Revelation's explicit 360-day year include Daniel 7 and 25 and 12 and 11 through 12. Finally, regarding the global flood, Genesis 7 and 11, 7 and 24, and 8 and 3 through 4 twice mention a period of exactly 150 days. The 5 months of the 17th day of the second month to the 17th day of the seventh month, because lunar months vary between 29 and 30 days, and not until Roman times did men use a 31-day month. Moses here records calendar dates that present a pre-flood 30-day month, assuming the use of exclusive counting as in Nehemiah 5 and 1. Thus, like Daniel and Esther, Genesis 2 implies a 360-day year as consistent with what is explicit in Revelation. So we have the Mayans, the Aztecs, and the Hebraic calendar, backed up with scripture that you can go into, because I didn't want to make the video too long, so I didn't go into all these scriptures that they're giving. But like I said, I will leave the link in the description box or in a comment. I will pin it so you can go and check this stuff out for yourself. But As the evidence shows, according to the Bible, according to the ancient Mayans, according to the Aztecs, the year is 360 days. All right, not 365 as the modern world purports it to be. So with that, I'm gonna give call Allah Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and say Shalom.